He's smelting. Melting a metal object, meditate on oceans, and then this guy's... How are you always having the active job of melting the Galena ore, but I never find you down here melting the damn Galena ore? You always have the job to melt, but you're never doing your job. You can't just say, oh, I'm on that job. If you don't do it, then you're not doing it. That kind of defeats the purpose. There we go. Hold on. What do we keep bitching about? Artham can't do anything because an item is inaccessible. The item is inaccessible because it's at the edge of the map. What are these? They're fine. They're not inaccessible. It's not even like that high of water. Did they bring up even more bodies? They did. At least we're getting them out of our base. Slowly. Where is this damn architect and why is he never doing this job? Well, wait, why does this say that's not active? It just says waiting for architect needs architecture if you're going to bring a block up. All right, well, I guess he's doing his job then. It's just not telling me he's doing his job. Needs share throne. Needs coffin. Well, if I can cram some extra coffins down there. How many of these haven't been used? Three, 4. And there's a bunch more that we haven't used, so it's not like I'm taking these away from a dwarf who needs it. Build, trap, pressure plate, water triggers from 0 to 1. Shale mechanism. Please work. Build construction floor. Double tap block. Please work this time and actually trigger the water when you need to. And you. I don't quite remember what I set you to, but shouldn't you have also been triggering right now? Shouldn't you be like trying to drag in more water? I think the one for down below keeps triggering correctly, so I don't have to worry about that. Dude, forge some gold things. I'm tired of you meditating. You meditate for days. Every time I check, this dude is just meditating on something new. Like he's making this up. Is there a religious version of what sword were you fake being sick so you don't have to work? I'm gonna say this man's faking it. He's done nothing day in and day out except pray. Or he hasn't even prayed. That's the thing. He's meditating. He's meditated on 3 different topics instead of just doing his damn job. No, not it's not. It's like menangling. That's not a word. There's a word. Hypochondriac is where you think you're actually sick. There's a word for basically. What is word for faking illness to not work? We're always malingering. We're always threatened with this in the military. Like, you better not be malingering, or we're gonna get you for everything you're worth. The word is malinger. If you've ever stayed at home faking a stomachache to not go to school, you know what it is to malinger. Yeah, basically, if someone's sick for more than a day, immediately your NCOs are always like, "Oh, you're malingering. You're faking it, and I'm gonna catch you faking it, and I'm gonna take away half your paycheck." Seriously though, this is days. This is straight days that have passed, and this dude's just meditating on rivers. How hard is it to comprehend a river? It's water. It has a mouth. You can stab it and kill it. I mean, it's just how rivers work. Maybe I don't have gold bars. Maybe it's just not telling me I don't have the gold for this. No, I have 64 gold bars. He's just not doing his damn job. So I had it set to Stakud. I'm going to do a read and collapse all. I'm going to put on someone else as blacksmith as well. Erdem something or other. Now he's praying to a mug. He's claiming it's a god, but tell me this man is not praying to a mug. No. You are faking it. Dire Builder, who did I just say? Erdem? Two assigned workers. Maybe one of them will get this done. Shh. Got accused of that in 6th grade when I said my ankle hurt and didn't want to square dance. Got sent to the office for faking being hurt. Principal called my mom to take me to the hospital, and my foot was so swollen I couldn't take my shoe off. Yeah, no, that's one of those. You're definitely faking. You're faking your foot swelling. That's just a thing you do. All right, now where's the other asshole? Erdem, sleeping. Of course, I would grab the man who is sleeping. So he's praying to a mug. The other one's sleeping. They're never going to get their job done. This man's saying stuff as Hellfire Skyrim. Okay, I'm about to... No, because he'll mess up the other dumps. Should have had a way to, like, control the river, too. What are these blocks made out of? I don't remember. Shale? Did this bridge ever get built? Still waiting for an architect. Don't know where its parts have gone. Whatever, they'll get to it when they get to it. Did someone mention me? Also, all hail the mug god. I think you were mentioned a bit earlier. You're one of the people that was throwing an alert that they couldn't reach something in the river. What do you pray to? I pray to a mug. Well, I pray to a cup. Well, I see you pee. Ha! Never fear, Beloog. You're probably just on the shit list of being an annoying dwarf. You're not in jail, so I can tell you that much. You're drinking with a mug nowhere near where anything else is. Where are these people bringing these mugs? Wait. Where are these people bringing these mugs? Shouldn't they just be kept here? Do I have more mugs? I never updated the mug. Bring all mugs down here. How many mugs can they store in a chest? I'm gonna go with a lot. And yet somehow not enough. Do I have another chest in here? I'm gonna bring in more chests because I'm suspecting they're not keeping all the mugs in like they're supposed to. Another chest somewhere, or just bags? No, I'll just go with 4 chests. I don't know if there's an actual number behind it, but it doesn't appear to me like there's 90 mugs in those 2 chests. That might be why we keep getting alerts of people saying that they drank without a mug, is they might not be keeping every single mug in here. So some of them might just be drinking whatever they have access to. Is someone doing this? I have 2 people assigned to this. One's still praying to a mug, and the other one has decided that he's going to drink from a mug. Are you the one drinking with or without the mug? I must know. Good. Good. Forged gold goblet. At least somebody is finally doing something. Yeah, of course he's crazy and starving. Are we good? Hopefully they're bringing in more. Someone also keeps stealing mugs to pray. Shut up! No. Where have all the mugs gone? 5 feet over. All hail the mug. It holds my booze, not tea. More bodies to be dumped. Item inaccessible. So what even is... They're getting these. They are. They're just being slow about it. Because they keep canceling because, oh my god, there's water. Also, what I feel like I should do is I should close the cistern fill. Oh, that didn't need to be priority. Can I undo priority? Well, it's already active, so who cares? Woo, 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 woo. Also, I have a big security gap to the... No, I don't. It's closed. I no longer have a big security gap. Alright, the booze was being brought down. God, we just happen to have a lot of booze, don't we? Are they making cobalt-type blocks? They are not.
The fort just needs something.
You can shut up. $91. Let's have Cobaltite on repeat too. I want to get some Cobaltite built. For as much as you guys have been exposed to the outside, how are any of you still cave adapted? This is why I like the mountain hole. I really hate cave adaptation. I know it's dwarfy to be cave adapted, but man, is that annoying. An annoying freaking debuff. So, now I gotta get the new one, but I do have an idea for midweek or something. Not like Tuesday. I'm gonna be doing some Terraria. but I'm looking down here like I have the folder open. Hold on. I have downloaded 2 things. One, I don't know if it's the up-to-date one, but I do have the Masterwork mod. So I can do some of that in the middle of the week, and I think I got some of the files to do Super Mario RPG Randomizer. But I need to make sure I have like an up-to-date emulator for that. But I have a randomized file. As soon as, you know, I don't have a backlog of everything going to YouTube. Dwarven bread time, that or play as orcs. Could turn cave adaption off. Dwarven bread time, that or play as orcs. So the last time I tried it with my friend, he was one playing. He tried Succubus. And just the weird path that they wanted things to get built in kind of confused us. What is inaccessible? But that's just that the item's not inaccessible. You're crazy. That's just a troll body. Looks like we got most of the trolls out of the entryway, though. There's only one corpse there. And there are still corpses down here that need to be gotten rid of. Did we get all of the clothing out? I think we got all the clothing out. There's a bunch of parchments and sheets. I'm gonna melt your arrows. I need a sheet and parchment stockpile somewhere. If I look here, how much booze do I really have? God damn. Okay, I knew I had a bunch of booze. I didn't think I had that much booze. DBF. Build, no. PF. Caps lock is on, this is throwing me off. Alright. I'll do another one for booze. Or actually, I'm going to cancel this whole room. And then just do a super one for booze. Super Boozenstein. There we go. Now, I see someone sleeping on the floor like he doesn't have a bedroom, but we have 22 unknown bedrooms and 21 units without bedrooms. Sounds to me like you guys can put 2 and 2 together and get your own damn beds. Like, on some point, I just stopped caring for you because you're too stupid to exist. Yes, I'm out of school then for this semester. This last week, I was doing a bunch of things for YouTube. I wasn't actually at school, but I was waiting for my reports to come back in so I could start sending out emails and stuff to administrators and stuff at the school. Because a weird way it worked was, up until this semester, everything I've done before this, while I was at the university, I had been in the wrong college without the right degree. I was undeclared in a College of Science and Math. I had to get to a certain point. I was trying to get it so I could switch over and get transferred into the College of Management, which this last semester I was finally properly in the College of Management. But now that I'm in the College of Management and I've gone over 60 credits, now I get to have a College of Management advisor, which you don't get while you're in a College of Management pre-60 credits. You still have a general advisor who has some experience about what might be required for a College of Management. So now that this semester finally ended, like I got the grades back, now I'm in College of Management, post 60 credits, being reassigned a new advisor for the College of Management, so that now I can try to effectively declare a concentration because bureaucracy wins the day. I mean, maybe at some point, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Definitely too angry at it. I'm always too angry at things. But that's no reason not to give it a whack. A good solid whacking. Yeah, I was trying to see if I can maybe set up something with some people's, but right now in like the next 2 weeks, there's so many, including today. I think the Twitch Nest is hosting a charity event for Doctors Without Borders, but I was slightly confused as what was going on and they're waiting for school, so I just ended up not participating in that. Next Saturday, I'm going to try to participate in the competition they're doing. And then, yeah, after that, I'm just trying to get in contact with people so I can see what things can be done when, for who, where, and why. I am technically still undeclared at 82 credits. Damn. Yeah, no, I think I'm at now... I needed 3, 9, so I'm at 69 credits. What else is down here? So I'm trying to think, you know, every time I do one of these bases, you know, I try to look at my designs and like how could it have been improved. So now we know for the future that as useful as quantums have been, and I definitely did a major change to my playstyle revolving around quantums to reduce on the lag. You can't do quantums with food and booze or, oh, caps locked again, or it causes an issue. So definitely gonna have to have that as part of my build designs in the future to remember that while quantums reduce on the lag and reduce on a bunch of the headaches, still you can't use them for food or booze. That causes issues. And you come up with more ways to kill people at range and then also dump their bodies, since dwarves go crazy looking at dead bodies. Which means whatever I do in fact do, it would have to involve a bridge or ice or something. I'd have to get rid of the bodies without a single dwarf ever knowing something died. Which means I wouldn't be able to collect Goblinite. It would have to be like a pit over lava or something. If I do a trapped corridor where we have them fall off and then have that over lava, it wouldn't even be a problem. Would lava mist melt a trap component though? Could lava mist melt your traps out? And even then, there's still some body parts remaining, which is a bit of a pain. Oh, which reminds me, this thing effing jammed. Was I just completely wrong? Hold on, I never looked it up after last time. Dwarf Fortress weapon traps. Wasn't the point of a artifact mechanism that it doesn't jam? Did they change that at some point? Cage, I don't care about cage traps. Where's weapon trap? As worse versions, note that weapon traps require you to have previously made weapons. While the thing is fair retributions, you can also use corkscrews and normally use screw pumps. Metal smiths, I know about those. Some weapons have very messy traps loaded with cutting weapons, like creating explosion bloodness. Using blunt weapons reduce the mess. You may wish to place a dwarven bathtub nearby. Weapon traps not cause slightly suicidal mechanics to reset them after each trigger, but set reset automatically after an unknown period of time. However, there's a 50% chance they'll get stuck in the mechanism and cause it to jam, requiring a door to remove the body. When the trap jams, the mechanic will automatically attempt to clean it, so forbidding the body may be necessary to save from. Note that the weapon traps will only jam if they directly kill the creature. If they instead inflict a mortal wound and cause it to bleed out, they will not trap. it's a ghost. So where did I come? Did it work differently? Where did I come up with the idea that artifact mechanisms don't jam? Also, who are you? Ast Obadavuz. Do we just not have your body? Ast Obadavuz. Ast Obadavuz. Corpses. Ast Obadavuz. There's a bunch of forbidden ones. Ast Obadavuz isn't a body I have. I don't know what happened to your body that we can't get it, but I'll engrave a slab to you. And or did I already have one and not place it from before? Nope. All right. Atom Smasher Dump. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. They told me 3 more classes and I get a General Ed Associate's degree, and I'm gonna enter an art competition. Atom Smasher Dump. Yeah, I think Atom Smasher Dump is a great idea. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. How do I word this correctly? I don't like it when my memory is wrong, since I never remember how I remember things. I have a great memory for things I read and just knowledge that I have. But if you tell me something and I remember it, like if someone face to face tell me something and I remember it, I can recall the fact that I was told. If someone told me who told me, I wouldn't remember, if you get what I'm saying. I don't ever remember where I learned things from. So when I'm wrong about something that I positively remember, it really pisses me off. Like really, really pisses me off, because now I don't know where I learned incorrectly. If I don't know where I learned incorrectly, then I don't know why I knew it incorrectly. Because if somebody told me that and they weren't incorrect, then I could, next time it comes up, be like, hey, by the way, so you know. If I read it though, and what I read was incorrect, and what that means is in the future I could read it again and get the incorrect information again. And where the hell did I come up with the idea that artifact mechanisms don't jam? Did they used to not jam? Well, it probably wasn't me.
Sir, here's the list. Looks like we wanted these things here, you see?
Ah, yes. We need to build some of these.
I don't play with artifacts. Well, technically I do. Artifact mechanism doesn't jam. Because my issue now means is that actually means the exact opposite of what I wanted it to do. It means that if an artifact mechanism can in fact jam, hold on, floodgate. If an artifact mechanism can in fact jam, and an artifact mechanism increases the chances of an attack hitting, that basically means you're increasing the chances of causing a jam. Because you're guaranteed to hit the dude, and I'm wanting them to do dodge rolls. So that weapon trap up there being built with an artifact mechanism means it's the exact opposite I wanted it to do. I want the weapon to do attack rolls but miss, so that it causes the enemy to dodge more often. Because I want them to fall off. That's not what that trap up there was for. I only thought to put an artifact up there because for some reason I was under the impression that they didn't jam. But if they jam, that means that that artifact mechanism is the wrong thing to use. Despite what some forum posts say, artifact weapon traps do jam. So I must have read it in a forum post somewhere. This dude's referencing a forum post. I must have read it somewhere. All right, it must have been an old forum post I had read it in. I don't remember where I read it in, but I must have read it from an old forum post who was just flat wrong. Well, that's kind of obnoxious. I guarantee you I've definitely quoted that fact in a multiple streams. Now they're on YouTube and people can just point at it and be like, God, what an asshat. This guy thought that didn't jam. He clearly has no clue what he's talking about. An artifact mechanism is great. Put it in a good weapon trap and watch it never miss. Mechanism quality affects the skill of the weapon trap. Yeah. But I got one extra thing where I thought it, because it's something... I don't dig in a cave, so I usually get like 1 or 2 artifacts for my entire fort lifespan, because it's something about how many revealed subterranean is the limit for artifacts. And when you reveal caves, it's basically limitless. I think they didn't at one point, since I've seen them never jam before. Okay, so maybe they did at one point. Maybe it's like I'm quoting a 3.5 rule and it turns out I'm playing Pathfinder. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I've just been quoting a 3.5 rule for the wrong game. What that means, though, is that changes my trap design, since I used to fucking love artifact mechanisms, and now they're kind of pointless. They're really kind of pointless. That one fact takes them from being like a rare sought after piece of gear to utterly pointless. Because an artifact mechanism in a trap, if the trap is destroyed, you lose the mechanism. Like Dragonfire destroyed our artifact mechanism before. So they don't even have the artifact quality because they're a mechanism. They can still be destroyed. So literally that trap is now the exact opposite of what I wanted. Artifact mechanisms are no longer things I care for. Why is this bridge still not built? Oh my God. Hurry up, architect. We check the bedrooms. Does everyone have gold chests yet? Everyone has gold chests. We're good on that. Did those thrones ever get built? Needs thrones, so no. They're still doing lead thrones, gold goblets. Smelting metal bars, doing all that, and he's smelting. Wait a sec. Oh no, that's Stakud. Well, then why don't we have people do it? Whatever. I definitely want to find a way next time I do something like this to bring the magma up. I'm starting to think that I've borked this base design. As useful as it is, I need to... I'm not saying like I want to give up on the base. I just think I've borked up the design. I have... The core of what I'm needing to do is building steel. But the problem is... that is so far away, since I'm doing it on site, on location with the magma. That's so far away from anything else I'm doing. It takes the doors forever and a day to go down there, which means as soon as they want to get food, they come all the way back up. Whatever's closer is going to grab them for priority sooner. So we're losing tons of time trying to smelt a bunch of other things, and we're unable to really get to the steel because of how much time it takes them to get all the way down here. I could probably mitigate this a little bit if I were to get rid of the magma kiln and replace that with another magma forge. I could have one of the two blacksmiths, you know, to a different forge, so they could each possibly work at the same time to offload the work. Same as how I did for the magma smelter with Galena and pig iron and the like. I could do that to just try to alleviate some of the backlog. Because I'm not even doing a magma kiln right now. I really am not. As a matter of fact, now that I talk about this out loud, I'm getting rid of this magma. I'm going to do that. This way we can have people trying to double up. And or if this still ends up being too slow, I'm just going to have to bring I'm going to have to screw pump the magma all the way up. We need to do that at some point anyways. Just so we can do like dwarfy designs. Because let's face it, we need some dwarfy designs. Hold on. Build you out of... I need blocks. Global type block. Wall. Build. Global type block. Suspend the back one. But in terms of actual production though, like this is a... It's kind of weird. Like if we were to discuss things that I say compared to things that I do, it's kind of weird that I have the base design that I do for bedrooms to reduce dwarven walking times. And yet the core of what I'm trying to get done is based off of steel, and I have that so far away. How is that ever going to get done the way I have it set up in any reasonable amount of time? It's not. That's my main issue. I shouldn't have done this the way I did this. Also, we've been attached to a cavern for a while. I don't know how long that's been, but it's a good thing that no one there's been able to fly. This, while I'm here plugging up holes so we don't have to pathfind down them, I don't think I care about these paths anymore. So build construction wall, do the same thing here, and suspend the back one. But this is a lot of, hold on. Where's the bottom Z level for normal base? I'm going to consider this normal base. Doors regularly go here. Floor 87. Floor 13. That's 60 some odd blocks of transportation I have dwarves walking for what is supposed to be the focus of this entire base is the Steel Foundry. And I have it down here for some reason. I'm going to need to find a way to get that magma up. Build. But for now, furnace, workshop, I don't know. What are you? You're a magma forge, right? So definitely somewhere I had a disconnect in my like thought processes. I think you're a magma forge. Magma forge, this hole is supposed to be to the left or right, not on the top, huh? Build construction floor. Build a cobalt type block there to close off that gap. Artifact trap parts would be fine. So the mechanism is what does the attack roll, which is generally good, except for a lot of the times, 50% of the time, if the trap outright kills someone, it has a chance of the body jamming the mechanism and just staying there. So, slight issue. The artifact mechanism I'm either used to or I thought meant that the trap couldn't jam. You didn't have that 50% roll. What it means, however, is that all it does is increase the chance of the attack roll, like increasing the attack roll from a 5 to a 10 versus someone's armor class, which is fine and dandy. Not saying that's bad, but considering what I try to use the traps for, which is I'm hoping for the enemy to dodge off the system. I'm using the traps as a way to get the enemy to kill themselves. I don't want the system to jam. And in this case, I'd actually want it to hit less. I just figured no chance of jamming was better than hitting less. If you had an artifact spike of adamantine or whatever, that has a similar problem. Whereas if you have a really good attack roll and then a good material, meaning it does more damage, you're increasing your chance of the trap inflicting that lethal wound directly, which means you have a 50% chance per person that it jams the mechanism, which ruins the entire trap. If you have an entire row of weapon traps, this is fine. This is complete, because if one jams, who cares? But if you're trying to do what I was doing here, which is you're trying to get the thing to cause a dodge, you're not wanting it to jam. The better the weapon system, the worse it is in this particular case. Oddly enough, I feel like this has been maxing, but like you're wanting to min more so than you're wanting to max. So for this to work, you would want the weakest mechanism with the weakest weapons, because you're wanting them to just jump, because you don't want them to get hurt and or die to your system, particularly if you're trying to do a drowning trap. So I'm going to get rid of that. And then what, make it loop around? Oh my God, this is just not a good setup. I would need to get rid of all the, I know what I would do. Need to get rid of all these damn trees, have a path come down here, go just a long way for a while, and then come over here. That way we have all of this sort of jump in. I'd have to fill it with a ton of shitty mechanisms. And then wooden training weapons. If you are wanting to do this for an actual, I want them to fall trap and not, I want to kill them trap. Oddly enough, elven weapons and wooden training weapons would be the best way to go. Because you're not going to kill them. At worst, you're going to be crippling their ankles. And then who cares at that point? They fall into the water. This is so stupid. This is a stupid setup. Also, how many trees do I have left for the elves? I need the elves to come again so I can kill all the trees. I need them to refresh their wood hatred. By the way, is this a mason finally? Good. Sorry, I still love fish wizards. Like, you get a trap that's only artifacts and the mechanisms of spikes. If you were to do that, if you had a trap that was only mechanisms for artifact to spikes, that trap would be good. That trap would be really good versus Forgotten Beasts, Elder things like Bronze Colossi, so on and so forth. But versus sieges, it's bad. Because you run the risk of auto-obliterating the first goblin scout that comes by and then losing the entire trap for everything else. In this case, you would want multiple traps with regular mechanisms that each had artifact weapons. Not one trap with 10 artifact weapons, because you want to spread out the jamming chances. Whereas the one with the 10 weapons would just slaughter Bronze Colossus or a rock or whatever. That poor Goblin Scout, though, if he triggers, you're not wrong. You would definitely obliterate him from existence, but it's not a good base defense. You're not getting bang for your buck. Garbage disposal. Let's close the garbage disposal and get rid of those damn goblin bodies. Now, is this... build construction floor. I'm gonna have to do this just to stop things from growing. Double tight. So I need a new trap system up top. Oh, also, did you get hooked up? This appears to have been hooked up. If I do Control M. All right, so we're gonna test to see if I fix this. Yes, I'm going to cheat in the water, but I'm going to see if this system now works correctly. If this still doesn't work, I'm gonna give up on this, and I'll have to come up with another way to do this. I want a range with a width of 3, a height of 4, Z levels of 1, with a depth of 2. Now what that'll do is, or what that is going to do, and before anything happens, I'm going to Control save. That will be 2 depth water, which should be high enough to make the trap trip that is above the 2. Then when it goes down to the 1s, because I didn't fill in these edges, it should re-trip and activate to let in more water. It depends on how long it needs water to trigger its mechanism. Because right now it's already below the 2s. No, it's at 2s. All right. 1 out of 7s will cause evaporations. I told this to trigger if it is at a 0 or if it is at 1 depth. So I don't know. I think it needs a certain amount of time to trip. That is our big thing here, is the 2s will keep re-triggering it off. What? This better. Are you more migrants? Oh, goody. More migrants. I'm trying to fix the dwarven bath here. My dwarven bath system may just be wrong. I don't know. I'm like... he would sit there like... oh, wait, no. Sorry. We want goblin voice, don't we? We want Gobbo voice. Hello? This'll work? Me? I have made several mistakes! One of which is being born! I feel real bad! Alright, I definitely have to work on some of the voices. Was it you I saw achieve a self-regulating current of water somehow? Yeah, that was me. Which is why this system not working is pissing me off. Because the thing is, this time I'm not having a pump do it. I'm just trying to let water flow, and it's not working. If I had a screw pump, I could get it to work. If I had a pump and the water wheel, I'd be fine. But I'm trying to get it to just regulate pressure from a river. I try to make it be automated so I didn't need all the mechanisms. And this is what I get for that. All right. So that bridge is there. Build construction wall. This lever needs to get attached to that bridge. And we'll let that get done. That'll fix that system. Still say the fish wizards had something to do with it. It might be. I haven't let them go fishing in forever. But what's supposed to happen is when this gets to 1 or less, it should trigger on. And when it triggers on, it should open that door. When that door opens, it should let this water through. When this water is let through, this should trigger low. which should trigger the thing above it. It's when I load the game. When I loaded the game, the water is below. But because the water's below, it's not going below, so it's not setting the flag to do the 120 cycle countdown to verify whether or not it should open. Once the mechanism or the pressure plate's already below the correct system, it won't trigger again. So if I have the misfortune of saving and exiting, when a pressure plate is tripped, but the pressure plate hasn't actually tripped yet, the next time I load, it's not keeping track of the same count anymore. That's gotta be it. So, hold on. If I'm right in this, I'm about to cheese all this water. Hold on. Is that what's happening? Am I just saving at the worst times possible? Because I'm not setting a flag anymore. I'm gonna set this to 4 waters. Now what that'll do is that'll trip the bottom, that'll trip the top one. That'll let the water out. That was definitely 4s, because that one works. That's never a thing that's getting triggered falsely. When this water is below a 4, it re-triggers back off, which caused me a slight issue because I actually wanted it to be lower. But that water up there read correctly. It read what it was supposed to be doing. So if I do a width of 1, a height of 2, a Z level of 1, and I set the water to 0, what I'm now doing is I keep emptying the water below here. If I'm pretending that the water is still flowing, then what's going to happen is eventually the water is going to have left up top where it needs to be. And I'm purposely doing it just a little bit at a time because I don't want to interrupt a natural flow calculation. I want it to keep thinking that something's missing and water's leaving. And there we go. That has now re-triggered this to allow water to come from up above. But the problem is the water's coming from up above now, but this has already been too low to trigger up here. There is a gap in the triggering system. This water only triggers when it does the edge case of going from a 5 to a 4. If I leave when the water is at a 4, but it hasn't opened that gate yet, it's never going to open. So if I now go here, where I had that water, and set it as a 7, I never actually put the thing down. Is this what I screwed up on? Now I'm hoping I don't know how long that water up here needs to maintain a 4 though. So the water down here got deep enough so it closed that off as it's supposed to. As it is admittedly supposed to. I'm going to change this. By the way, just so anyone can see what I'm doing, I'm literally just typing in numbers and enter. You're not missing much. I'm just trying to see how the mechanism works. If I set the depth to 7s and hit enter, that's just 1s and 2s. So I'm going to redo that with a range of 3, 5, 1, 7, enter. That should force that water to recognize that it's above long enough so that when it clicks down below, it should open. But it might not even be opening yet anyways because it's not pressuring through there. Now this triggered that how? I guess there was a 1 in there at some point? But as soon as it clicks back, it resets. That is getting 4s. That let water through up here. I don't think it did. All I have is a mortal town with vampire infinitely doing paperwork for a village that doesn't exist. Well, I wish I could claim to say I know everything about it. There are people who do like legit computers using liquid mechanics in this game. Meanwhile, I can't even get one water pressure plate to work. I'm wanting the water to be high enough for a prolonged period of time so that programming is weird. And the way the Dwarf Fortress, any program that has mechanisms in it, not just Dwarf Fortress, any game that has the opportunity for you to program something individually in the game has even more opportunities than normal to cause bugs. So, to show you what I'm talking about, build, trap, I'm gonna do another pressure plate. Now, if you notice when I do water, what I'm doing is when I say pressure plates work on water, you're allowed to set a window of when it sends an on signal. It either sends an on signal or it doesn't. It sends off signal. But it doesn't actively do it every time because you could cause the game to freak out. I want to say it's like 70 cycles or 120. So right now, if I were to put this down, this is right now, the setting is 1 to 7. Basically, if there's any water at all, I don't want water here, do something. Which in this case, it'd be opening a floodgate, for instance. But if I lower the maximum, then I want it to open a floodgate when the water's between 1 and 2. Point. If the water were to be 3, it's closed. 2, 1, it opens, but it hasn't sent a signal yet. Gets all the way down to 0, still is closed, or still is closed. It never opens, even though you'd want it to be open. That's my point. Like, there's, and if you save it in that time and it doesn't do the calculations, it's only when it goes from 3 to 2 in that case. Or when I set to 0, it's only when it goes from 3 to lower that it triggers. But there's a time period where it might not because of water flowing around. So if I had it set off to go when the water is a 4 and a 5 is moving onto it, and I save when it's a 4, and when I reload, the 5 goes somewhere else and it was already a 4, you've already caused a case where it's not transferring to a 4, so it thinks it sent the signal. It doesn't keep sending an on signal. It's not an actual electrical device. A lever, for instance, doesn't send an open signal every time as long as it's open. It just, when it is pulled over to the on position, it sends a signal to open. When it is moved to the off position, it sends a signal to its associated device to close. It's not a permanent signal. The game doesn't track it that way. It only tracks when something has changed. Now, I believe we've had the water here up high enough. Water is 6 out of 7. So I'm going to cheese the water back down. I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to move this. I'm going to say I want the water to be 1s. We'll see if that was enough, because I actually didn't do more. And now, because the water in the save went from 5 to 4, going to 4 sent the signal to tell it to open the gate. So now this has been reset. So this is why I keep losing this every single time I reload. The water pressure finally updated, by the way, so this got sent to 7s. That got to 7s, but it can't pressure down here. When the water's actively up high enough, it sends the signal to close. If that signal, for instance, is only set to open from 1 to 4, and something makes it jump to 0, it'll never open. So I guess I have to make sure pre every stream that I basically cheat in some water to make sure all of my switches are set correctly, because I never built any of these things to a lever to reset the system. That's my problem, is the system is not self-regulating. It's just self-operational. It's an automated system with no ability to regulate itself. That's what I screwed up. Wait, legit computers have black magic, and that guy does lava cannons. No, it's fluid, so obviously it's the fish wizard's doing. I'm not calling you Professor Dwarf. He'll also be right back. Greetings and praise, Armok. Mr. Man TM, welcome to the stream. I've been going over how I screwed up my own dwarven cleansing system. Also, someone's bitching about things being inaccessible forever. All right. Here's the thing, they're not. You guys have grabbed most of these. All right, watch this. DVD. Since I'm already cheesing the system right now, I don't really feel bad about this. Auto dump. Is that not the right command? I thought auto dump was the right command. All right, if that's not the command, then we'll just have to deal with it as it stands. I thought, oh, that's because I'm in liquids. By the way, if you are doing DF hack and you are cheating your way around things, liquids brings you into a special liquids menu, and it says so down here, water range, whatever. You have to hit Q to go back to normal commands. Now I could say auto dump, and it knows what the hell I'm talking about. Just a heads up if you're messing around in DF hack. And I'm gonna save here because I accidentally just clicked Q when I shouldn't have. It didn't do anything, but the fact that I forgot where I was meant I could have accidentally just closed the entire game. Add a starter lever. Basically, that's what it is. I need to get in there to add a starter lever. In order to get in there, though, I need to drain the pressure, which means flooding the entire entrance hall again, because that's how unregulatable my system is. I didn't build in a way to drain the pressure without flooding the trap. Now, where do those things go? There they are. We're going to claim them back now. Now we won't have the alerts of, I can't reach it anymore. However, all the things that are damaged, I am going to order to be just dumped again. We don't want these. We'll just melt the helm. And also anything that's large, who cares? Actually, no, just no. Just dump all this. I don't even want to waste the time. Just dump all this. Of course, trash compactor's not been re-triggered again. Can't you just cheese the water out? Well, I mean, yeah, but for as much as I run into issues to fix where I end up cheesing and cheating to get the thing, I'd really rather like to at some point be able to claim I haven't had to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at some point I kind of actually want to do a series like direct to YouTube where I just go over all the mechanics and explain the mechanics. So if I can't do it, if I can't easily keep doing it without cheating, then I feel like I don't have enough of an understanding of the subject matter to even pretend to claim that I should be the one to, you know, teach anyone anything. If that makes sense. I might just be thinking too much into it. That should get rid of our alerts. Have we built enough? Can I build the damn office for Cyrilak? I can. Cyrilak can get his office. Hooray. Couple tight coffins. Gonna get 4 more fake things. Build door. Planning mode. Material of a door I know I'm not gonna make. A bronze door. That way, when I tell those to expand, we don't have an issue with them. All right, nobles are going well. Down below, DH. Channel that. I mean, as far as I'm aware, particularly for streaming, as much as I like streaming large hours at a time as I do on Twitch, I run into some physics issues that just don't agree with the wiki at all. According to the wiki, there's no way to pressurize lava back up. It just doesn't work that way. You know, we've seen it here, the lava come back up from the magma holes, and it's not supposed to. We've seen it. Back, and Mr. Main, we all know the fish was a sort of packed with an eldritch entity. We just don't know which entity yet. Alright, so I'm going to take off, not Stakud. I'm going to take off Erdem. That way I can have Erdem assigned to the one to the right so I can actually see what the hell they're doing. Make wafers, please. Just as much as you can make wafers. What I wanted to do, though, but before I do the direct to YouTube thing, is I'm kind of waiting on the Toady one. Because he's made a lot of comments about his, like, next major update. And I don't quite all know what's part of it. So I don't want to start up a video and then him just do a major update and the video is wrong. Like when the lava decided to defy gravity, whatever, and I was playing Terraria earlier. Basically. We've had it do it, even though it's not supposed to be able to do it. We've had it do it to us. How is that rock just in magma? I'm forbidding that, and I'm hiding that. I don't want to ever pretend that there's that ever again. Build, workshop, and I forget what it was from Metalsmith, or a Magma Forge. Grab a better quality steel angle. Treat yourself. That didn't work right. Build, workshop. Magma Forge, better quality steel anvil, and I'm guessing right now they're just wanting something that's, I'll just use a steel bar just to get this built.